Like we're on. I think we're on. Here we are in the dark, but it's not.
It's not quite after dark.
It's not No Pants Friday after dark, guys. Vikki just came up here and said, why don't you have the No Pants Friday stuff up? And I'm like, well, because that's not what show we're doing. It's a bonus. It's a bonus extra show. And there's somebody.
And I took my pants off for no reason. Apparently.
That's Theresa yapping in the background. She's breaking all the rules of being a special guest, but she's making faces at us. And anyway, so it's Friday. This is a bonus episode. We played hooky on Wednesday from our Wednesday show.
We did. We had so much to do this week. I think like anyone else. Okay, I don't know, and I'm sure Theresa will weigh in and has in the group. At least for me, between eBay and Etsy, it has been on fire for the past week. So I'm not complaining by any stretch of the imagination. There is
not complaining about your awesome sales.
But I'm shipping once or twice a day, and it's just and still trying to get up good listings and new listings. So it's like I looked at her on Wednesday and she's like, what do you think about skipping the show today? Because we have so much to do. I was like, oh, thank you, Jesus.
Plus I need to go get my hair cut. Because I had my hair appointment for 9:30 that morning, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to I still wasn't done. I had like a bunch of stuff to ship, and then I get my haircut, then come back for the show, and there was just too much.
And Barbara noticed my hairs. Not Theresa didn't say a darn thing.
But we have Theresa here. We're gonna pop her in. What's up, Theresa?
Me. It's I'm up. It's 8 o'clock on a Friday night, and I'm up. Hey,
yeah, it's 8 o'clock over there.
Oh, that's right. It's 8 o'clock your time because Arizona, one state over, literally 20 minutes from the Arizona state line here, and we still observe daylight savings time, and they do not, which is stupid because we shouldn't. There's really no reason to. But
yeah.
Not a lot of farming going on in Nevada.
By the way, we decided to have some hot cocoa with some sort of, what is it, McGillicuddy's like menthol mint.
Yeah, it's like peppermint schnapps, but white trashier.
Is it? I don't know. I don't usually drink. I don't like minty stuff usually, but with chocolate, it's pretty tasty. But I'm gonna take a little sip.
Doc McGillicuddy's. It's white.
It's an elixir.
It's white trashy.
They sell it off of the medicine truck.
Yeah, it's white trashy.
So is that like remember that show Dirty Sally? It came on Friday nights after the Brady Bunch. Nobody ever remembers it but me. And she was this old, dirty old woman, and she had all these elixirs and things off that truck, and she would open it up, and there was magic inside. You'd drink something, and you'd feel better. That's when you say elixir.
Sounds pretty old-timey.
Sounds awfully suspect.
When you say elixir, that's what comes to my mind.
Sounds pretty old-timey.
It is.
So anyway, a couple of things before we get into this. So, we're going to do a whole unboxing. I sent 37 pounds of goodies to Theresa in a big giant box, a big sturdy box. And so we're going to do an unboxing. She doesn't know anything that's inside of it. But first, there's a couple things I want to get out of the way. First of all, today's Friday the 13th. Very spooky.
Ooh, this is why we're staying home. That and I went out later last night.
So this is Friday the 13th. And the reason why that matters is because tomorrow is the last day that you can get the ring light deal that's like super awesome, which Theresa, can you show us? You were just showing us before the show.
What you've got
going on.
Make it so that
why you're so fabulously lit right now. Very nice.
I know I had it all the way full bright and I couldn't see it. I'm like, I need to fix that.
We have a ring light, but it's like a little baby one.
For the show. Like we have one facing us right now, and that's all we have on. By the way, the ring light that we have is only like a 9-inch ring light.
Yeah,
and that's the only light on us.
Oh, maybe that's what I should get instead of having to move this one back and forth.
Yeah. But anyway, so there's if you guys have been thinking about getting a ring light, seriously, tomorrow's the last day that you're gonna be able to get it at the price that the promotion that we have on our Amazon page. So there's the link down below. And again, you guys, this totally supports our channel because we do get like a little tiny commission off of any sales we get through there. But it's an awesome promotion because you're getting 45% off of an 18-inch ring light. It ends up, they originally it was like a $90 ring light, and then like in the middle of the sale, they bumped it up to $105, which I think is kind of shady, guys. A little bit shady.
Wait, when I bought mine, I bought my first one in October. It was $130.
Well, that was a different one. And that was just because of the carrying case.
Well, but let me finish. You don't know everything.
Most things.
And then 2 weeks later, I saw the promotion, so that I bought that one, and I did that old Amazon return thing, and it cost me $14 to return it, but I did anyway, because the second one was $52. Yeah. And then I had Vikki order me one for $52. So
there you go. There you go.
Two for the price of one. There
you go. But the last deal was like it was like $130, and it was 60% off. And now they have this other one that's $105, it's 45% off. The only difference is you don't get a carrying case with it. It's like, whatever, you're not, for the most part, there's no reason you're going to need to transport your light around. But anyway, the link, if you go to the link to our Amazon store down below, it's the first link that I have in the description, and you click on shop this promotion or shop the promotion, that's going to take you to that deal. And I'm telling you, if you've been thinking about getting a ring light, you're not going to get it for much cheaper. It ends up being like $58. And tomorrow night at like midnight, 11:59 p.m. Pacific time is going to be the last chance for you to order that. And so if you've been thinking about doing it, you should. Right, Theresa? You've got like 2 of them now. We have 2 of them. They're awesome.
I have 2 of them. And
sorry, I wanted to answer one of the questions there. Kane had asked, is it good for flat lays? And I use it for flat lays for a couple of things. I'm not traditionally a flat lay person for clothing, but I use it for flat lays for a few things. I also use it for hard goods, and it's on an angle, so it's not it's up or upright like this, but you can adjust it so it tilts down over a table or over a flat lay. So and it's also adjustable in height, so it would work just as well for a flat lays as it does for something that's flat against the wall or a mannequin. Yeah. So yeah, it would work just as well. If you don't have one, it's great. If you are thinking of stepping up your game, it's definitely worth it. If you're planning on investing in your business, which I suggest you do. But you know, everybody's got a budget. I totally get it. This just happens to be one where it's almost 50% off. So yeah, that's it.
Oh, sorry, Teresa's busy talking to somebody in chat right now. I don't know what she's doing.
Too busy typing.
I was going to say that I haven't taken any eBay pictures with mine, but I processed some Amazon orders, and when I do my Amazon order, I take a picture of the clothing item with the UPC code and the price tag to help with people that claim counterfeits. And I did exactly what Vikki was saying. It's on an arm, and I angled it over, and then because this ain't no hat rack, I have a remote for my camera, and I put the camera on there, and I just put the close, click, close, click, close, click.
Fancy.
I was in business.
Very cool. So anyway, so we've both been talking about yesterday's fits. We've been buying from them for the last few weeks. There are these guys, Jesse and Austin, they're brothers. They have this awesome brick and mortar store here in Vegas. They also have a website, and they're on Instagram. I think like 65% of their sales come through Instagram because they have like 30,000 followers there. And then when somebody wants to buy something from them on Amazon, they direct them to their actual, like they have a Shopify store. But they also sell a little bit on eBay, and I'm getting Jesse to get started on Etsy as well. But they also have a brick and mortar, and they just recently moved. They do mostly vintage streetwear, but also a lot of like hype streetwear. So like newer stuff like, shoes and Supreme and Bape and Off-White and like all like kind of the new hot brands that the kids are into these days.
That the kids are wearing that are fire, as as they say, as I don't say, because I found
all the bangers, as they say. But anyway,
all the bangers.
So
which meant something entirely different when I was a kid.
So they moved locations, but they had a ton of stuff left over in their old location because in anticipation of the move, they were going crazy buying all kinds of stuff and like stocking up on lots of really cool items. And so they ended up with like just having ridiculous amounts of stuff left over. I've now bought from them like 5 times. It's crazy. And the last time I went just a few days ago, 3 days ago on Tuesday, I still found a ton of stuff. I got to go in and I spent a few hours there with Jesse, and we went through all of those. They had a bunch of bags in this very back room, like garbage bags and garbage bags filled with stuff that they had purchased that needed to be laundered. So stuff that was really cool, but maybe had stains or just looked like it was dirty or whatever. And so they just kept throwing them into bags and then kind of toss them into this back room, thinking that they'd take care of it later. And they ended up filling it up.
Later never happened.
So
it became
seriously,
a hoarder closet of bags and bags and bags.
Yeah, for sure.
Of dirty vintage goodness.
For sure. I went through every single bag that was back there. I just kept bringing them up. Jesse was doing more stuff because they just had another sale today. It just ended at 7. They just did another sale today. They're still trying to blow everything out. I personally went through every single bag back there. It was well over 50 garbage bags. Like I was like, it's a tiny little closet back there. I don't know where. It's one of those things where they just kept coming and coming and coming. And I ended up getting a whole bunch more stuff. They added a whole bunch more stuff to their sale that they were going to have today. It's just nuts. But Theresa, you heard that we were having the sale, and what were you thinking when we had the sale last Tuesday with them?
Hashtag FOMO. So actually, it was Katy in one of the shows after you did the first haul. You said something about, we spent all our money, we don't have any more money, or whatever you said. And I was like, hey, maybe you'd like to go shopping for me. And then I asked Katy, would that be fun or would that be work? And she's like, who doesn't want to spend somebody else's money?
Exactly.
It's true. It's fun.
So exactly. I sent her $300 and she spent it all.
Yep. And you, Theresa, you're like super, super hip to vintage streetwear. It's like kind of your niche that you work in. So you know all about it. So you're super excited to see all the stuff that you're totally.
She has no idea what she has in the box. And
you're right.
I guarantee when she gets to actually start listing it, there's going to be a million text messages between us. Her going, "What do I look for again? What do I call this?"
No, because here's. I tell you, this is not a hat rack, people. This is the genius of this show. You're going to tell me everything I need to know about all these shirts, and then I'm going to watch the show when I go to list them.
It's a dirty
trick. I see that. I see how we're doing the work for you. I believe we need to get on the Minion payroll.
Yeah.
I think,
when is the last time, Theresa, that you went thrifting?
When you guys were in Phoenix.
Okay, you guys, Theresa's not even a thrifter.
She thrifts with us out of pity.
She sells. This is what she does. When she's buying to sell, she's doing retail arbitrage for the most part. When she's selling anything that you would think was thrifted, if you ever go look at her store and you think something's thrifted, it's probably something that she owned herself that was something from her old house. She is not a thrifter. That's not the kind of reselling that she does. So Vikki and I do things very differently from Theresa. So this is kind of fun to get to shop for her, all this stuff to see how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
But what's funny is that the sale last week, we co-hosted it with Yesterday's Fits. It started at 4, went from 4 to 7, and Vikki kept saying, like, an hour went by, and Vikki was like, "Are you gonna pick stuff for Theresa or what?" Because
I didn't want all the good stuff to be gone.
Well, and just in general, in life in general, when there's a task at hand, Vikki is the one who's like, let's go. She's worried it's not gonna happen. She's got to be on top of it. She's got to like remind you 20 times. So she kept saying to me, like,
so what she's saying is I'm a nag,
pretty much. She was worried that, like, she kept asking me, and I'm like, it's fine. I'm like, I want the people that are actually here in town to get some time to like go through the stuff. I go, there's plenty of good stuff here.
Mm-hmm.
And I literally waited 2.5 hours. It was 2.5 hours into the sale, and I finally was like, all right, I'm going to shop for Theresa now. And I'm telling you, Theresa, every single piece that we picked from there is good. And I was going through it after we got home.
I only picked, to be fair, I only picked about 5 to 7 for you personally because she had gotten most of them. Yeah. But every one, when we went through them one at a time when she came home, and I kept going, "Ooh, I would have gotten that one. Ooh, I didn't see that."
Yeah, she was like, "Wait, where was that?" So it's all good stuff. And
that tells you.
2 hours of the sale, we had like 30 people there, and it was all stuff that they hadn't grabbed right away. That just goes to show you like how much awesome stuff is there.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's going to be awesome.
And I still walked away at the very end with a bunch more that I hadn't intended to get either. And then Katy found more stuff for me this week because I didn't go this week.
Yeah. And then after I picked all your stuff, Theresa, I went through and I was grabbing a few more things for myself. And then I kept holding stuff up and basically yelling at everybody for not getting it.
She was chastising everyone for not noticing the vintage fantasticness or passing it up anyway.
Yeah.
Now, so let me tell you my side of the story. Katy said, send me your $300 and I'll go do a private sale for you before everybody gets all the good stuff. And then you'll have the cream of the crop. No, she didn't say that. But it just goes to show you, I have no idea what's in this box, but it just goes to show you that you can have 30 people shopping in the same store and everybody walks away happy and there's still plenty of stuff to go around.
And then I went back there on Tuesday and I, you know, the stuff in the back wasn't out, but I went back there and went through everything on Tuesday and spent another $500 on stuff to sell. And I've already got some of that listed.
I see that Corey's in the chat. Corey already sold something that she listed. Dana has already sold something she listed from last week.
Sandy says she spent over $200, not all listed yet, so couldn't justify going to buy more today. But yeah, like what was it that Corey said that she sold already?
Corey sold a reverse weave champion sweatshirt that wasn't even vintage, but she, I think she picked up in the $5 pile.
It was in the $5 pile. It was a black, reverse weave sweatshirt. It was awesome.
And Dana sold a Wisconsin's Badgers sweatshirt for $70 plus shipping.
Yeah, that she spent $10 on.
Within 24 hours of listing. So
she listed it that night because that's the thing with Dana is that she only bought like 6 things and she's got very limited space at home, but when she gets it, she wants it listed right away. And she listed it and sold it for 70 plus shipping, less than 12 hours really. So
my listing minion will be home on the 20th. She wants to take a week to like chill, like whatever. And then I'm gonna get her started on
and work for you on her Christmas break. God,
come on.
And
so I'll probably get these listed right around the first of the January if my listing minion does for me, because I ain't getting it.
Okay, so and where are you going to be listing everything?
I'm going. Well, I'll probably do eBay, Etsy because it's vintage, but I will be using List Perfectly to list it and probably start the listing on List Perfectly. And then launch it out to eBay and Etsy from there.
Aren't you excited to have stuff to list on Etsy?
What's that?
Aren't you excited that you get to have stuff to put on Etsy?
You know what? I started listing some fabric and stuff just because it's crafty. But I haven't sold a ton yet, but I haven't spent a lot of time on it. So definitely going to utilize List Perfectly. I will probably not put these on Poshmark or Relove or any of those other places that they have. And I'll get it going.
Macari does have a fair amount of vintage clothing. Like I know for some reason Vikki doesn't do any clothing over there, but I buy stuff on Macari all the time, and there's a lot of vintage stuff on there, a lot of vintage streetwear stuff.
I probably should be just crossing it to everywhere, but I tend to just cross my hard goods on Macari, and it helps me. So like I sold Corey had sold me a board game that is not allowed to be listed on eBay because it's slightly offensive. So I purchased it and sold it on Macari, and I sold it today and it was listed for a week.
Nice.
So I had 3 sales on Etsy today and I had 5 sales on eBay today, and today it's been a good week so far.
Very cool. And I actually, if you guys look in the description down below, the link to, we have a referral code to List Perfectly. I don't use it yet. I'm still waiting for Grail to be added, just saying.
Which will be added, according to List Perfectly. It will be added by around the 1st of the year.
Okay, so I'm excited about that. But
List Perfectly just to put in their Facebook group today that next will be Facebook Marketplace, which was a landslide poll they did in the group. And Grailed. So
that'll be awesome.
I'm pretty sure that they did Grail just for you, Katy.
I'd like to see Shopify too as well. But Vikki uses it every single day. What's going on? What are you doing?
I have to bill a customer, so keep talking. Like you've ever had problem with that before.
Well, I know, but I'm trying to hand it to you to talk about you. You're the one that does the listing.
So
I don't.
I do use List Perfectly every single day. It has cut down on my time. So I used to pay my assistant to cross post to Etsy for me, and I wasn't even on Macari. So back in October, I switched to List Perfectly, and I have the Pro plan at $69 a month is what the charge is for that plan. And depending on where it's going, I will either list it right on List Perfectly and then cross post it out to 2 or 3 places, or if it's only going to one other place, I generally tend to list on eBay because it's the more complete of the sites, and it's faster to cross post to just one when you start on eBay. If you're only cross-posting it to one, you start it where you want it and then cross-post it with using the fast button, the little magic button. But if you're cross-posting to 2 or more sites, it's always better to list it on List Perfectly, because it's much faster to do it that way. And it also retains a lot more of the information, especially if you have the higher level plans. So it transfers, you know, the size of your package, it transfers your weight, it transfers all that kind of stuff. You know, I know that there are a couple of other companies that are trying to come up with something similar to List Perfectly, but they fall short, to be fair. You know, they have some of the same components, but nowhere near the amount of detail that's involved with List Perfectly. And
or the platforms.
Or the platforms, yeah. So List Perfectly is right now on 6 platforms, soon to be 8, and then 9, 10, and however many there are out there. I mean, they're just adding them so darn fast. And one of the nice things about List Perfectly is you know who's behind it. Theresa is on the List Perfectly team, but Amanda and Clara are the 2 owners, and they are fantastic. Yeah. So we are supporting, you know, a small business owners, female-run small business owners. And I just think that that's knowing who's behind it and knowing who created it and who you're talking to when you have a concern or a problem or a question is so important in this world, with technology specifically being such a disconnect and very little technological stuff is even being done in the US. So I love the fact that you know who's behind this, you know who owns the company, and if you have a problem, they get back to you very quickly. So. For sure.
Speaking of which, not to put a damper on anything, guys, but my buddy Derek, the Vintage Fiend, he's still waiting for an email to join List Perfectly. He's chomping at the bit, and he wants to get down
Derek, there is no wait list.
So there's no wait list.
What does he need to do, Theresa?
He needs to check his spam folder or send another email.
Go to the link below, click on it, and sign up. Like there's no wait list. There hasn't been a wait list for months.
I know, but there have been some people, I think they get lost in the shuffle. And
no, it means it. See, here's what happens is that the only people that have ever gotten lost is that it ends up, your email will go to your spam folder because it doesn't recognize. Sometimes it comes from List Perfectly. Sometimes it comes from Amanda at List Perfectly. Sometimes it will come from Theresa at List Perfectly. So when you get your acceptance, if your email does not recognize that email, it's going to, because it has attachments to it, it's going to go in your spam folder. So I guarantee you were accepted at some point right after you joined and you just never saw it.
So Derek, just click on our link down below so we get your referral.
Also, Naomi,
and go ahead and sign up again or do whatever it is you need to do.
Naomi says signed up but waiting. I think that the wait list ended at the end of September. So like if you haven't gotten up to List Perfectly, click on the link below and go ahead and sign up, and you'll get right in tonight. Like there's no wait list.
Okay, perfect. Okay, perfect. Yeah, because there was, you know, some growing pains at first, just because, man, you guys don't even know when you're talking about a tech company that's just starting out that has an explosion of success like so quickly. You don't even realize like how much goes into that. Like, you know, finding the servers that can handle the traffic, and I mean, there's just so much that goes into it. And it's like, it's one of those things where it's like a good thing, but not a good thing at the same time, because it's like, because they're so successful, because people were loving it so much, so many people were joining, but then they had to deal with the challenge of finding a server company that could actually handle all of the traffic that they were bringing. So I think it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. And you know, and I learned a lot from, I mean, I got to see some behind the scenes stuff that I never knew, because I'm not a tech person, but you know, I'm pretty impressed with how quickly they handled that. There were some growing pains in the beginning, but within 6 weeks, 8 weeks max, no issues.
I mean, but it's all because how quickly people, that's the thing. It's such an awesome product that the word of it like went like wildfire, and everybody was signing up. But I want to point out, guys, in the chat, Will and Jenny are adorable friends. Will and Jenny are thrifting nomads.
Dina peeps.
Guys, sorry, guys and girl.
Guys, whatever.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, they say, OMG, all my favorite people on one screen. We haven't been on YouTube in way too long. Love you all, Will and
guys.
Yeah, we're going to have to have you guys on.
We need to have a conversation with you. Yeah. We want you guys to be our first After Dark guests for January. We just talked about this the other day. So expect us reaching out to you after the holiday.
What?
And you just heard it here. We're going to have Jenny and Will.
Oh, man.
On After Dark. They can't say no.
Because they're cute like that.
Yeah, I think we should all bring tacos to that show.
Hey, you should.
We're all taco lovers.
What are I don't remember the good tacos in. So they met in Gardena, which is where I grew up.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were living in Riverside. Now they live in Torrance, which is where I moved from. Like, we are so connected. They're in my hood.
So Diana Eden is asking about us sharing yesterday's Fits reseller boxes on Facebook. So I'm not necessarily sharing it on Facebook. I'll be sharing it. We'll be sharing it anywhere that we're at. So basically, they are going to be selling more to us, to me, and they want to be doing reseller boxes every week. So most likely what's going to happen is, I've been going in on Tuesdays. I'll go in, I'll buy the stuff that I'm going to buy, and then I'll find out from them like how many reseller boxes they have available. Now, I don't know when exactly they're going to start doing it. I don't know if it's going to be next week or after that or what, but they basically want to get to where they're doing it regularly every single week. So the way I envision it is that we would be like, hey guys, there's 10 boxes available this week. You need to.
Here's the link to our, here's the information to contact them and go for it. It's not something that we're going to be making any money off of, nor are we going to be putting them together. We're just going to alert you guys when they have them ready. Yeah. So it's not our gig. It's not our store.
It's not obviously. But in the way we see it is that we're kind of the go-between of helping them to be more successful, but then also bringing you guys to better sourcing than maybe what you can do where you're located at. So I think it's like a win-win for everybody. And so we'll figure that out. But we would, we'll probably, if I find out on a Tuesday, then I would say it on our Wednesday show and probably post something on our Instagram on our
all right. I feel like it's Christmas morning and it's now noon and I still haven't opened my gifts. Let's go.
It's because Katy can't stop talking.
So rude. All right, let's
go.
Theresa, so you're gonna hold on. I gotta say something real quick though. You're gonna open the box, and the first handful of items are not from yesterday's fits. They're just like, they're good stuff. They're like freebies we threw in to fill the box up.
Okay.
And so the first handful of things are going to be just like basic stuff that you can sell for bait. We'll talk about it, but I just want to say, so for those guys out there, the first thing she pulls out are not going to be the big money things.
So because I have the box on the floor and I didn't know how I was going to do this, I will say that I snuck and I opened the box, but listen, stop.
That's not how an unboxing works.
Well, because I didn't know how I was going to do this. So I opened the box, but I stopped because I wanted to show people I'm so impressed with, let's see if it works.
The feed just froze.
In there?
Yeah.
No way.
It's very well packed.
Okay, so am I unfrozen?
Yeah, you're unfrozen. Just for some reason, when you held it over there, it like froze up.
Okay. I'll try it again.
We can see it. Yeah.
Okay, so I like that trout T-shirt because me and my longest friend Trisha from kindergarten, we go trout fishing.
Oh, all right.
So that's pretty good. And then the Special Olympics.
Well, you're gonna want to like
gotta take them out. Let's go.
Put the camera back. Put the camera back.
Okay, wait, time out. You can't spend 35 minutes, blah, 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 and like get that.
Start pulling stuff out. You got to hold it up one by one, and we'll talk about them.
Okay. So I was just showing how impressed I was that they were all folded. Okay.
All right, that's a freebie. That is a vintage T-shirt.
See, I watch your haul shows, so I know how to do this.
There you go. It's vintage 90s. Now that's just kind of like a bread and butter vintage. Like you should be able to get like $25 for it.
Single stitch.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I know these sleeves.
And it's got the special sleeves where you can roll them up, and it's like.
Oh, look at that! Look at that!
Snazzy.
I remember these.
Snazzy.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay, I got my little handy dandy red.
Ooh.
Okay, so here's another one.
It's that one I think like is it Senior Olympics or Special Olympics?
Special Olympics.
That's a cool shirt.
Yeah. 1993, I think it says.
Best.
Yep. 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay.
You could probably get like $25-$30 for that.
Okay.
Or for
yeah,
like
93. There you go.
Teresa's more like me, so probably 35.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Theresa is similar to us where she does like to price stuff high.
I actually think I had this shirt at one point in time because it's at Eddie Bauer.
Yep.
And it was probably my fishing shirt. I'm going to find a picture of me fishing with this shirt on. Okay, so that's pretty cool.
That's a vintage Eddie Bauer, 90s Eddie Bauer.
Okay. How much?
That one, $30, $25, $30.
Okay. I sold a t-shirt tonight. I sold one of my vintage Disney shirts for like $32.
Woo!
I know, and it was like it's used, like
Hey,
way used.
well, I see her in the chat. Listen, I'm seeing some chit chat there about some kind of sale that the Thrifting Nomads are putting together. I don't know about the sale. Please discuss in the chat. I would like to read about the sale.
All right, what's this one? Oh, now that's a good one. So that's one that I threw in, but I actually sold the same one just the other day for like I think $45.
Really?
So there you go. I mean, it's a little. There's some wear. There's definitely some wear and fading, but that's okay.
What's the Delta tag? Like, is that anything?
It's just a 90s tag.
Okay.
It actually, I mean, that the nice thing about that T-shirt, it should have like the actual year on it, I believe, because it's
Okay.
a
Super Bowl. Oh, it's Super Bowl 30 XXX. I can do that.
All right, there you go.
Okay.
So whenever that was, Super Bowl 30, 1995.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Awesome.
that's something that will do very well on Etsy. I'm telling you, I really feel like Etsy has a better audience for people looking for really good vintage because they're just kind of sick of like having to wade through all the other stuff on eBay. So we can see you got a taekwondo. You're like going off.
I know. This is harder than it looks, people.
Yeah, we'll put it right in front of your face.
There you go. You're going backwards. I understand.
Yeah.
You're opposite.
This is a taekwondo championship. I bet you get like 35 for that.
Okay, and look on the back.
Woo! So make sure
All the people's names.
you type that out.
Remember, like you had your high school T-shirt with all your names on it. Those are probably all the people in there from Ames.
I know, you're gonna type it all out in your keywords.
Yep. Oh yeah.
So when people Google their name, it'll pop up. God.
Okay. Oh, Acme All Stars. This is really vintage, 1937.
Sorry, these are all still just the extras that we threw in.
I said.
I hear you.
I was just talking about him today.
Yeah.
Look at that. Acme All Stars. I love this shirt.
That's probably like a $30 shirt.
I think I might keep it.
There you go.
Because I'm a baseball girl.
Yeah, I mean, anything that's in there, obviously, you can keep it yourself. You bought it.
Okay. I like that one. Okay. Dakota Balloon.
Ooh, the Balloon Festival. I like that one.
Does it say something about Rapid City,
South Dakota?
Dakota?
Okay, let's see what this is.
It's probably like early 90s.
So early 90s. I'll just go with the $25, $35 range unless you tell me otherwise.
Well, yeah, so far these that we threw in. That's Nights Inn. Is that like a hotel or something?
Wait, I'm gonna move this. Hold on a second. I'm gonna move that like this so I can see it.
There you go. Comfort Rules in West Palm Beach.
All right.
That's a cool shirt.
And so vintage, it's washed off.
Yeah, that was probably early 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Could be late 80s.
Yep. Okay. That's a sweatshirt. Ooh. I know this.
You had a lot of sweatshirts in there.
I know what that is.
Oh, there you go.
Because I'm from Southern California. That would be a Rose Bowl
Wisconsin Badgers. I hooked you up.
Rose Bowl.
Wisconsin Badgers sells for good money. They're popular.
1994, Wisconsin UCLA.
Paid on it, but I think you could still sell it for like $35.
Yeah, because UCLA fans will. Probably Wisconsin too. I mean, same thing. Awesome.
UCLA, they're not going to want to wear their loser T-shirt.
Well, that's why I said Wisconsin too. Unless you were there, like I would wear that if I was at that Rose Bowl. Oh, this is so 80s.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I like that one.
Maui surfboards.
Maui surfboards.
That's a good one. I think that's a $50 t-shirt.
I don't know about 50, but I mean, maybe you could try.
It's a $50 t-shirt in my store.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, crazy shirts. That's actually probably not vintage.
No,
then
some of the crazy shirt stuff are vintage, and it is vintage. It's single stitch, but I don't think it's a $50 one.
It's kind of faded. It's kind of gray, but wait.
Trish says that she loves the way I'm acting surprised. But there are some crazy shirts are vintage. It just depends.
Crazy shirt too. But this looks like something that we would have worn in the 80s.
It's pretty awesome. Probably early 90s.
Probably the early 90s. I didn't wear t-shirts in the early 90s, only in the 80s. Okay.
It was all about the business suit.
Camp Providence.
There you go. 1998 vintage sweatshirt.
Hollywood.
That's probably like it's some I don't know what camp.
It was probably like a Hollywood night or something like that. A theme.
Yeah. That's probably like $25. 90s. I think it's made in the USA.
Awesome. I kind of feel a little bad.
You're still on the bonus pieces.
These are the freebies.
What is?
Even I know what this is. It's just the wrong color.
Oh, there you go. Okay, so this is our first thing from the. So a lot of these are going to have those like sports cards on them, and that's the yesterday's fits tag.
Oh, is it? Okay, good to know.
Price to that. That was
$30.
I think you can get 40 for that because that is it's an Adidas Originals basic black track jacket.
Yeah, it's not vintage.
It's not vintage?
No.
Oh no, duh.
So almost everything that we got from yesterday's fits for you we paid $10 for. There were a couple things we paid $5 for, but almost everything was $10. And a lot of the prices that they have, those are the prices for their in-store prices. And usually online you can get a little more. But yeah, so they were selling it for $30, but we got for $10.
Awesome. That's good to know because I won't feel bad about selling it for $30. I like these. So they just buy these cards, and this is their little price tag thing.
It's very common in the vintage streetwear world. Like almost all the shops do that.
You know how you always find a box of baseball cards at a garage sale, and people post them in the groups, and they're like, "Oh my God, what are these worth? They're not worth shit. Use them for price tags."
It's very much like the vintage streetwear world. They do it. Look at that. Button your fly, Levi's.
Button your fly. Okay.
See, they price that at 20. That definitely would go for more like 35, $40 online.
And it is a Levi's brand.
Well, I hope so.
So, oh, okay. Let's see. So, I found a little honey hole champion item that's really selling well for me this year that I'm not going to tell you about, but I'm buying them for $15, selling them for $65 all day long.
So that is that was a freebie. I actually threw that in for you. That one has some sun fade. It is new with tags, I believe. If you open it up, there should be a tag in there, or there might be a tag on the sleeve. But there is sun fade. It's vintage, but there's a fade on the shoulder.
Okay, well, I sold the Ralph Lauren vintage umbrella with a lot of sun fading on it for $400. So it doesn't. Oh yeah.
There you go.
So it doesn't bother me. Can you see
and that? You didn't pay for that one, so I threw that one in.
Thank you. You guys are the best. Okay, let's see. Oh!
She gets excited when she recognizes them. I like that.
So, because I have to tell you that when I was in high school, I had my entire wardrobe was Lacoste. Not because I was hip or anything, but because my high school sweetheart's name was Walter, and we called him Wally Gator. So I had everything alligator.
Did you wear the polos and pop the collar?
Of course. So and you get the two-tone. You wear a white one and a red one and pop the collar, and then you're really cool. So yeah, that's definitely vintage.
You can get probably $35, $45 for that one.
Yep. That was one Vicky picked out too.
Vicky scored.
She was taking care of you with the jackets.
Awesome.
That's another freebie for me.
Awesome.
Great lakes, medieval
did
fair.
you just decide I don't want to deal with this, or did you say, I think this is something Theresa would like to list?
I think it's one of those things that I thought was cool when I got it, and I still do think it's cool. But I've really been working on going after higher price pieces, and so I wanted to fill up the box, so I just gave it to you.
That was nice.
Ooh. Oh, I really like that one. We both like that one. We eyeballed it ourselves, and then finally we put it in your box. We both wanted it.
You got it. So if you could back up a little bit so people can see that it's double-sided,
double-sided all over print,
like a wraparound print, and it just looks really super cool.
It's vintage 90s Tropicana, casino in Las Vegas, which is right now I believe it is the oldest original casino left in Las Vegas on the Strip. But that's a 90s.
It's an animal print thing is super, super popular right now. In fact, I just got a sweatshirt at that sale last week that was like an all over print, front and back. It had like whales and wolves and birds and everything on it. It's sold in 24 hours for like $40.
This reminds me of those really oversized t-shirts that we would wear with like white. I wouldn't wear white leggings because I'm not a leggings girl, and you wear those big baggy shirts.
Yep, with leggings with the lace around the ankle.
Yep. I love this.
So this one, I got it for you because I kept going back to it and thinking this is a really cool shirt. I have no idea what it is or what it's from, but it's vintage 90s. I just don't know what it is.
It looks very familiar.
Right?
1995 Red Rhino. But if it was a smaller size, I'd definitely keep it.
Yeah, and I think it's a cool shirt.
I could sleep in it, but I have enough sleeping t-shirts.
I think it's really
have $30.
So obviously I didn't Google it or anything, but I mean, I don't know what it is. Isn't Red Rhino wasn't it like a VHS company? I don't know.
I'm afraid to Google it.
What's the
I know, huh?
I don't know. Now this I think is super cool. Very topical. If you've been watching the news, guys, the whole stuff in Australia with the wildfires they were having there, and a lot of the panda population was destroyed. They say that they are, what they call it, essentially extinct because 80% of the population died from the fires there, which is super sad. But this means that they're, what's that? Well, but it just means that they're all over.
They're very topical.
They're very topical. People.
I understand. I'm teasing you.
And so,
Red Rhino was a record company.
There we go, record company.
A British independent record label, which sounds possible.
I'm almost positive that they were also the label that did the VHS tapes for Mystery Science Theater 3000. I could be wrong, but hold on before you go on. I know this is gonna take forever. But that panda, you should definitely price that up because I think
you keep saying panda. It's koala.
Sorry, koala. I'm sorry.
You've been correct.
I apologize. I apologize. Koalas. The koala one, seriously, price it up high and make sure you put all over print in your keywords. Koala and Australia.
Gotcha.
All these people yelling at me. Ooh. That is Adidas.
It is because look, I can read.
There you go.
And I love this tag.
It's vintage 90s, like late 90s.
Okay.
And it's a very cool design on it.
Like a full frontal print. It's very cool. Something in German.
Full frontal. That's inappropriate. But I think it's super cool.
Foosball.
Oh, is that what it says?
Fussball, foosball.
Oh yeah. So yeah. German foosball. There you go.
Who knew? All right, here we go.
This is a Detroit Tigers, but if you look at the, it's pretty basic T-shirt. But if you look at the tag, I believe it's 80s.
Champion large.
I think that's 80s. So it's a basic T-shirt, but it's nice. It's a vintage Champion. I think you should be able to. You could get like $40 on Etsy with that.
Okay, single stitch on the bottom. Ooh. What size is this? I might have to give that as a gift.
There you go. So Buffalo Bills. This is one of these. I really like these old jersey T-shirts. They're like T-shirts, but they're like jerseys too. And that was a really cool one. This is one I definitely would have bought for myself. Like I said, pretty much everything in your box I would have bought for myself. It's just that I could only buy so much.
It's just that you were using my money, so you had to send it to me.
Yeah, pretty much.
So what is this logo 7?
Oh yeah, so Jen found a vintage 90s Adidas tracksuit yesterday. It's iridescent purple. She says, I think I have to wear it. I think I have to see a photo of you wearing it is really.
But Theresa, that could sell for 40 on Etsy. I find that, you know, like I was saying before, Etsy seems to be doing a lot better with the vintage stuff.
Is this so? Remember that the shipping label you did yesterday for Dave, the Can Do Dave? Yeah. He is a Utah Utes fan, but this is extra large.
You gotta back it up a little bit because all we can see is the graphic. We can't see what it is. All right, there we go. That's a cool one.
So
what's the brand of sweatshirt?
What's that?
What's the brand of the sweatshirt? What's the tag?
Pro Playa.
Oh, okay. Yep. Cool.
Pro Playa.
So,
Pro Playa.
Pro Playa. So
again,
extra large is $40 for him, but is that? I'm guessing that's a vintage something or other.
Yeah, it's 90s.
Oh, so Mel or Deb just said I literally just sold that exact Buffalo Bills shirt with a cigarette hole in it for $25.
Awesome.
Yeah, you probably sell for 45.
19. Oh, UNLV.
So that was the year that they won. I think the one year that they won the Final Four, they won.
So
the
it's a pretty popular year for anything UNLV because they're not a very good team, and so they lose every year, and that happens to be a really big year that they won.
So yeah, so that tag, you see that tag a lot for 80s stuff, but this is a 1990 shirt, obviously. What's going on over there? What are you doing?
I'm answering a message while you're talking.
Anyway, but you should be able to sell that easily for $45, $50.
She's okay, Mom. Oh, this is a gear. So what was fun? I listed a bunch of my T-shirts, and so it was fun to, after watching some of your shows, recognize. I mean, I know that my T-shirts are vintage because they're all from the 80s and 90s, but it was fun to recognize. I recognize. What's that?
I said because you're vintage. Is that why you know that your T-shirts are vintage?
Hey, you know.
Woo, woo, woo.
UNLV.
You're not far behind me. Actually, you are kind of far behind me. Never mind. Yeah, UNLV #1. So it's probably the same year, huh?
Probably.
Yeah. All right. And then, because you guys are in Vegas, let's just go 3 for 3.
Woo, woo, woo. Yeah, I grabbed a bunch of them. Now, this one I think is super, super cool. That's like
I like the print.
National
champions.
It's another 1991, and what's cool, I like the way the graphic looks, where it's like almost like it's kind of like distressed, like the factory distressed graphic.
So there's really no brand; it's just a size tag, but
yeah, doesn't really matter.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't matter.
It's single stitch.
Okay, so have you guys been watching the San Jose Shark Twitter feed?
No.
Yeah, so, you're Audrey's son.
Yeah, Audrey's son Sam is now known as
the Moonwalker.
Selly Sam and Moon Boy.
That's awesome.
Because he does this awesome moonwalking move. He's a what is this, hockey player? And so it's like it's just taken off. So as soon as I saw the San Jose Sharks, I'm like, oh, Sam Tracy. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't watch their Twitter feed. I'm friends with Audrey and I follow her on Instagram and on Facebook. So I've been seeing it through her.
That's Magic Johnson Tees.
By the way, when we're saying Audrey, we mean Audrey Tracy, who works for eBay and usually does the eBay for business
podcast.
She's not doing eBay for business anymore. She's been moving to different.
I'm glad you said that.
Magic Johnson Tees or Magic Johnson
because I did not recognize that.
Yeah, I think I really like seeing those tags because they're usually really cool shirts or sweatshirts.
Yeah. Lots of sports teams.
Yeah, it's a lot of sports stuff.
1994 semifinals, hockey.
Yep. Sharks versus the Maple Leafs.
Okay, so there's you go. San Jose Sharks, and that is
that's another tag. That's another brand I like. The Salem Sportswear.
Yep.
Usually 90s.
Man, there's so much stuff in here. Mom, can I stop opening presents and we have
much.
You could be like most kids on Christmas morning and just pick out the clothes and throw them over your shoulder.
So this is one that I actually was like, when I was getting it for you, I really wanted to keep it for myself because it's so cool. But I decided not to. First of all, it's that really awesome all over wraparound print. And then it's sailboats. And I do so well with sailboat t-shirts, that theme. And that's just an Anvil tag. It's probably 90s. I'm sure it's single stitch, but the sailboat thing, like I always use stuff like sailboat racing, yachting, yacht racing, those kind of words. And that should sell for like $40.
Awesome. Good to know. Hey, I know this team.
That is a really cool one. Dallas Mavericks. I think that's an 80s sweatshirt. It feels very 80s. It's kind of lighter.
Yeah.
It's like a lighter material. I find that the 80s sweatshirts tend to more often have if you look, there's no shoulder seam. So
that would be called a raglan sleeve, RAGLAN.
And so it goes straight down from the collar as opposed to having like, shoulder seams going across. Now that's not always does mean it's 80s, but I find that was much more common with 80s sweatshirts.
This is a nice heavy one.
Ooh, Miami Dolphins. Now I'm super annoyed that I gave that to you, Theresa, because I got a Miami Dolphins sweatshirt that was a really cool one. I listed it, and the next day it sold for $50 on Etsy. And that one is an even cooler one than the one I had. And plus, because it's got heather gray, which is super popular with streetwear, you could sell it for $50.
Well, you sold yours for 50, so I want to sell mine for 60.
Okay, go for it. Have at it.
Galt sand.
Those are kind of nice sweatshirts. They're nice, heavy duty.
Yeah, that's a really heavy one. This is a cross country something at Richland.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's like some high school or something.
Invite.
Cross country. So I don't know if that's like a specific event because isn't an invite usually a race?
But some people will, if they're cross country people.
Yeah, so that's an 80s tag. Sometimes you'll see it early 90s, but it tends more often than not, it's 80s, but it could be like 90, 91. So when you're listing it, you can say 80s, or if you want to say 80s, 90s, you can. But if you're going to pick one, pick 80s.
Okay. Ooh, I like this tag just because it's fun and comfortable.
Looney Tunes. Living on the edge.
That's awesome. Okay.
Now, that stuff is pretty popular, and I think that's like a quintessential like early mid 90s Taz t-shirt. Don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, sweatshirt.
Yeah, there's a lot of sweatshirts in there.
Notre Dame.
Been here a long time, folks.
Hey, I think this is fun. Anyway, that sweatshirt. Here's the thing about that sweatshirt, Theresa. I was in that space 5 times before the sale this last Tuesday, and every time I was there, I kept picking up that sweatshirt and being like, "Should I get it? Should I get it?" And finally, I was like, "I'll just get it for Theresa."
There you go.
I really like the graphic on it.
That same brand, Galt Sand.
So Notre Dame always reminds me of in junior high. I had a teacher, Mr. Lazar. Still keep in touch with him. And he was a huge Notre Dame fan. And so I grew up in Southern California, so it was always the Notre Dame USC rivalry. So now when I see Notre Dame, that's what I think of Mr. Lazar.
Nice.
Okay.
That has some great keywords on there, like horses and
Yep.
horse stuff sells too.
Okay. This is kind of topical. Da-da-da.
I picked that one.
I have a Pentagon t-shirt. I should keep it. I like it. New York office.
New York office. Yep. See, that's one of those things that's like, it's probably going to be hard to find exact comps for it, but it's like embroidered. It's really nice.
Yeah. Facebook Incorporated. That's what that stands for.
What's the tag on it?
It is a Hanes heavyweight.
Yeah, so it's a nice 90s sweatshirt.
It's very cool.
Look at it.
What do you get this about?
Is awesome.
Because this is the back that has something too. There you go.
So Disney is super popular in streetwear right now, especially vintage, all over prints, something like that. Big spell outs for Disney. That's very typical, 90s Disney and very popular.
Mm-hmm.
That will sell. That you could probably get about $70 for that, at least on Etsy.
Could that be 80s or is that 90s?
It could be 80s.
The tag looks older.
It could be late 80s.
I like it.
Yeah.
I still have my original Mickey Mouse t-shirt. It's classic Mickey. I bought it. I remember because I bought my car on May 23rd, 1990. And on May 24th, I went to Disney with my friend Angel and I bought this t-shirt. So I know that it's from May of this sweatshirt. And when I wear it to Disney, all the cast members are like, cool shirt, cool shirt, cool shirt. Because it's classic Mickey.
Because it's vintage now. And they're like, oh, it's classic.
Totally vintage. Yep.
All right, this is another one that I kept picking up every time I was there.
Both of us did. This is one for no other reason other than we just really liked the pattern.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this reminds me of wearing this with leggings, like you'd wear with teal leggings and brown boots, and then you'd have purple socks folded over the top.
Brown corduroy leggings or hunter green corduroy leggings. I would have worn that with.
So Lee Sports. So, and it's funny because like a couple of years ago, I sold a similar sweatshirt like that, only it was like dark blue and different colors, but it was like that. What's that pattern called again? The Paisley. And it was a Stussy. It was like a vintage Stussy, and I sold it for like $275.
Wow.
But that one I would actually price high, even though it's just a Lee brand. I would actually price that for like 60 or 70 and see if you get any bites on it with that all over print Paisley pattern.
I'm gonna be rich when I'm done.
All right, this is an awesome sweatshirt that that Dana actually had picked up and kept. She kept going back and forth, and she should keep it. And then she only had like $60 that she wanted to spend, and so
she had a budget.
Yeah, so that was one of the ones that went back. But it's really cool. I like those ones where they have the wolf. It's not just the wolf, but it actually says like gray wolf on it. That's 90s, early 90s.
Yeah, so Jen's like me. Jen's like, I would have been rocking that Paisley shirt with my stirrup pants for show.
Oh yeah,
definitely. Stirrup pants with the granny boots though, like the little granny boots. That's probably what I would have worn too. I'm with you, Jen. I think we probably dressed a lot alike, girl.
Yeah. So I don't know if this is Deb or Mel, but she wants to know, are all the shirts I got for Theresa stain and hole free? If they are, she's going to pay me to inspect everything she wants to buy because she needs a 5,000 candle spotlight apparently. You know what? I think all the stuff is good. But you know what? I get stuff all the time that's like, it'll get it home and it ends up having a stain on it or something like that.
Me too.
And because all the stuff I bought,
I'll tell you what, thrift store lighting sucks.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
I'm telling you, you drive it home and you're like, what the hell is that?
You put it up in front of the ring light with the daylight bulbs and it's like blazing stain at you. But because all the stuff I got this last week, almost all of it was from those laundry bags. I got some amazing stuff, but man, it was super labor intensive this week. I did a lot of work on cleaning stuff up, but you know what? When it's a piece that I know I'm going to be able to sell for $100, $150, or even like there's one that I think I can sell for $500, putting in you
take that 30 minutes.
Putting in some real time. One thing I think I probably put a couple hours into, putting in some real time into it is okay. It's just, you don't want to be doing that if you have like a t-shirt that you're going to sell for $20. You don't want to end up wasting 30 minutes trying to get stains out or fixing a hole or whatever.
Right.
So you got to think about what your time's worth.
I do the 3 days in the washing machine with the t-shirt suit mix.
Yeah.
Yeah. I say that like I do it a lot, but I sold a white t-shirt sweatery thing that it's funny because I wore it with a suit that I wore to my dad's funeral, so it was at least from 2002. And when I went to go ship it, it looked really yellow, but I didn't pick it up when I listed it. So I sold it on a Friday. So I had Friday through Sunday night, Monday afternoon to soak it and wash it. And it was so crisp and white when I shipped it. it was well worth it.
That
I
soup
just
works.
went back.
I'm telling you, that soup works.
So Dana said she actually gave that sweatshirt to me to put in the box, the wolf one.
Thank you.
But yeah, I had like I had my shirt soup going on for 36 hours. I did some bleaching stuff. It was crazy. What do you think about this one?
Okay, so here's the front. I love it's like a patch. I love that. I love that it's a patch.
Back it up a little bit.
And then don't be the boss of me.
Don't boss me.
I want people to know what they're looking at. It's not just a patch.
And then this is the back. That's pretty awesome.
So I thought you would be into this because I'm assuming that this is like an employee sweatshirt for somebody who actually worked at
in the design studio. Yep.
As opposed to something you would buy at a store. So that gives it more value, in my opinion.
The LA and the New York team.
Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously you'll have to look it up and see if you can find any info on it, but I'm going to guess that you're going to find that there aren't any other ones out there, or there aren't very many. And hopefully you could sell that for a lot.
For $500.
Yeah. $5 million. Basically.
At least.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. NASCAR racing.
Woo-hoo.
That's pretty awesome.
That's just a really nice 90s, late 90s embroidered
just
sweatshirt.
Yep.
Okay, so
NASCAR sweatshirt.
Let me tell you my connection to NASCAR racing.
Okay.
Because my sister she used to work for Mattel, and she worked in Boys Toys. And my brother-in-law, her husband, also worked in Boys Toys as a graphic designer. And so he did all the graphic designing for the NASCAR cars. And basically, he had to go down to the pit and match the decals on the Matchbox cars with the actual real cars.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have a handful of NASCAR stuff, but
well, that's cool.
That is cool. See, I'm from Rhode Island, so we're all about Hasbro. So everybody knows somebody that works at Hasbro, has worked at Hasbro, did design something at Hasbro.
Yeah.
And Hasbro is in Rhode Island, so it's and they still actually make toys there.
Pop Rocket Lisa wants to know why there's a T-shirt hanging on the wall behind me. That is actually the vintage dead stock sample Psycho T-shirt from Universal Studios that I just picked up from yesterday's Fits last week. It's from 1991. Still has the sample tag on it. I paid $65 for it. I have it listed for like $350. I'm willing to take $300. I have a price super high because I'm hoping it gets to stay on my wall for a while because I love it. I want to sell it, but I don't want to sell it quite yet, is what I'm saying. So it's going to hang out there on the wall until it gets sold.
I like your strategy. Listen, enjoy it.
I just want you to know, while we've been doing this show, I have had 3 sales.
I don't even know if I've had sales. Boop, boop. No sales.
And we have pulled pork in the crock pot that's been in the slow cooker all day today. We haven't eaten dinner yet, so let's speed it up. I gotta finish dinner.
Then go do that. I'll hang out with Theresa.
Okay, so my shipping minion, who I'm meeting up with in the Valley tomorrow, texted me at 8:40 and said, "Any eBay, I'm leaving in 20 minutes." So I missed that, and oh well, she can ship it on Sunday night.
Yeah.
Okay, so
There you go. So it's Harley Davidson of Anaheim Fullerton. So okay, cool. We've seen
Anaheim Fullerton. I'm a California girl, so there you go.
What's interesting about this one though?
Full zip.
It's a full zip like sweatshirt, but it's not a hoodie.
Yes, there's no hoodie. I love it.
So I think it's pretty unique.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. A different take on it. This is embroidered. See, Katie, I see how you do that. Like when you're showing, you kind of do a little. Yeah, you touch it.
Just tactile.
Tactile. And then the vintage or the Harley, I don't know if this is vintage, but it's a 2XL.
Does it say where is it made?
80/20 cotton poly.
Now what does it say? USA?
RK Stratman, St. Louis, Missouri.
Yes, it's
probably 90s.
Stratman. So make sure that you put Stratman in the title, by the way. I did not know that was a Stratman. Stratman is a designer for Harley that is known for his graphics and his designs. That one's kind of tame. He usually does a lot. He does like the lightning designs and the big screaming eagles. And lots of stuff in the 90s, and his designs tend to sell for more money. So that is a key word that you want to use in the title, is Stratman. I didn't realize that was a Stratman design because it's kind of boring for him.
I think the style of it is what makes it stand out more, because I've never seen that kind of full zip sweatshirt that doesn't have a hood for Harley anyway.
Hold on, she actually hasn't left yet. There's a shirt, but you can ship on Sunday.
I'm actually going to ship tomorrow on a Saturday because I have so many to ship.
Ooh.
And I just had a customer pay me $110 to ship something express to Canada.
What? That's crazy.
Well, it weighs 12 pounds and it's big.
That's crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, what are you excited about?
You know, just really living.
That was, I love that one. Love it.
Yeah, I think Vic, you're out of that one.
Yep. So, you know, because I mean, you grow up, you watch Saturday Night Live, David Letterman, all those things.
Definitely 90s.
Lee. Yep. Just a good old fashioned late night.
Was that like a reverse weave design? Does it have like the side panels?
Yeah. Yes, it does.
Oh, cool. There you go.
Very nice.
Very nice sweatshirt.
Oh, yeah. Now I can see it. Now I can see the reverse weave, which I only know because Katy showed me the last time she was here.
Yeah.
What a reverse weave.
Jen, it is the Psycho t-shirt on the wall behind us.
Okay. So oops. Oh, it's a hole. I thought it was a scorpion. I killed a scorpion in the house today, which my mom doesn't have very many scorpions, but that's just a hole in the box. Okay, so
Michigan State.
There you go. That's it. Oh, and look wait. It's got the side panels, so that means it's
I think it's actually, is it Champion?
It is
or is it Velveteen?
Ooh, it's an old Champion.
There you go. So that one's a vintage Champion reverse weave.
You found one and gave it to her?
Yeah.
Rude.
I still have only found one.
Sorry.
I paid her to shop for me. She has a reputation to keep. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to track this. I only have one more left.
Okay.
Do you know what it is?
Not off the top of my head, no.
It's pretty, let me just give you a little. So this belonged to somebody named Oscar.
There you go. Vicky picked this one out.
I picked that one out.
Pretty cool.
What year was the 67th Academy Awards? Google that. I think it was in the 90s.
I'm Googling 1995.
1995. There you go.
There you go.
Santee. Forrest Gump won Best Picture.
Whoops.
There you go.
Santee.
Santee.
So that's pretty awesome.
So real quick. So Dana wants to know what reverse weave is. You want to grab one of those. You want to grab that Michigan State sweatshirt and see if you can get close up.
Okay. So
side panel.
So a few of you guys have been commenting on the hair. Thank you. I added purple to it.
I don't know how to show this.
So we need to see the side panel.
Can I answer some questions?
I know.
Are you allowed to talk? Am I allowed to talk today at all?
She doesn't know what she's doing there. Okay, go ahead. Tell about your hair.
I'm just saying a lot of people have mentioned the hair. I just threw some purple in it yesterday.
I like it purpley.
So the reason I didn't recognize it, Vicky, is I realized it during the show because you're in this shadow. So I just assumed that the light was on the top of your head and the bottom of your hair was shadows.
Whatever, Theresa. You don't even look at me anymore. You don't even notice. You don't even see me.
All right, Theresa, hold the sweatshirt back. You're up too close to the camera. People can't tell what's happening.
Okay, so
hold it out so the arm is out. Okay. Now, if you guys can see, there's a side panel. There's a side panel that you can see a seam going down it.
Can you see it?
The reverse is one part is like the front of the shirt goes what? Vertically and the side panel goes horizontally, or the other way around?
Wait, here is the shirt. I'm going to turn it this way and I'm going to open it up.
It's a stretchy ribbed side panel. Yes, yeah. Jen, thank you. That's exactly what it is. and it's got a vertical
So
ribbon.
from here to here is it so it's not a seam down the middle. It's got this, call it a gusset or something.
Yeah, yeah.
And it reminds me of the stuff at the bottom.
Yeah.
This
so
is
it's
ribbing.
Champion, I think they've actually like trademarked the words reverse weave, but other brands do it as well, but Champion's the main one that does it.
And it's a size small.
It's just a really nice construction. It helps with like people.
That's a men's small because that would fit me. Yeah, and
Yeah,
so
actually their reverse weave sweatshirts are the big heavyweight sweatshirts that everybody wanted in the 90s. And I was never allowed to have one because they cost like $80 in the stores then, and my parents were cheap. And by the time I hit the 90s, I'd already moved out. So I was out of my house at 14, and I couldn't afford to buy them myself. So I never had them.
Yep.
So that's it.
That's a lot. I think that's a lot for $300.
But I didn't get my Game Boy. All I wanted was a Game Boy. You don't love me.
A red Game Boy.
So keep a spreadsheet so that we know, like you were saying.
I will. I'm going to keep a spreadsheet to see how much. And I'll add in the shipping because that is a cost to factor in. Mm-hmm. And then I'll just figure out. I like to do what percentage I sold to when I made my money back. So like my Minion, I've sold 9% of the items and made like 110% of what I paid her this summer back. Nice. Yeah, so that tells me that it's worth it to pay her to list for me. Mm-hmm. So I'll do something like that.
Yeah, so we can keep like, I've told people from our sale, if they can keep even, you don't have to itemize your stuff every day. And I know you don't do that either, but it's nice to have an idea of just for this specific buy, I spent $300 and when it all sold, this is how much it sold for.
Yep. Yeah, no, that's exactly what I want to do. And then, some of the ones that we showed, I'll probably post it in Boss Facebook group. Here's another one from Katie's shopping. Let's see, what would you be? You would be my shopper.
Professional shopper.
Yeah.
Professional personal shopper.
I can't give you a reference yet, but when I sell a few, then I will give you a reference.
Okay. Because, well, I will say that both the things that Dana sold and Corey sold, they both had me go through all of their stuff and tell them, what they should or shouldn't buy. Mm-hmm. And when they went through them, like with Dana's, it was that purple Wisconsin badges. I was like, yes, you absolutely want this. Great team, great sweatshirt, Russell Athletic. Plus it was purple. And then I could not believe that Corey got that Champion reverse weave out of the $5 pile. But listen, this is the kind of stuff that if you were getting reseller boxes from yesterday's fits in the future, this is the kind of stuff you would get. And yeah, if you go to a thrift store, I get it. It's nice when you find stuff for $1 or $2 or $5. And so maybe it's harder for you to imagine spending $10 on a vintage sweatshirt or a t-shirt. But the thing you have to remember is if I were to go out and thrift, it would take me forever to find all this stuff. And there's no guarantee that I would find any of it.
Time is money.
Exactly. And so
you either have time or you have money.
Yep. I might be spending like 3 times what I used to spend on my inventory, but if I can do it in an hour, as opposed to an entire day, plus having to order stuff online, plus having to keep going out and looking for more sources, all that time I could be putting to something else like listing more, or, you just have to, it's a trade-off. You got to think about like, what it's worth to have something that's already been curated. And to me, $10 an item for vintage that you can get 30, 40, $50 for is totally worth it.
Well, and I realized that if we went out shopping on our own, whether it's, garage sales or Savers or what have you, and you're only going to pay $2 to $3 per item versus $10, you still have to spend a lot of time to cull through the crap to get to that, that stuff. So
I would never find, because what we actually got from yesterday's fits, there were 31 pieces, because there were 29 pieces that I spent $10 a piece on, and there were 2 pieces that were $5. So 31 pieces I grabbed within an hour's time, or even less than that. I could spend an 8, 10, which really when we go all day, it's usually ends up being 12-hour days. and I would not find 31 vintage pieces that are really good, that are that good. I'd maybe find, if I'm lucky, 5 to 10 pieces that I really liked, and then a bunch of stuff that's just kind of mediocre $25, $30 items. So
yeah, and you know what? Something to keep in mind. I see in the chat that people are talking about the boxes. Something to keep in mind that, you know, Katy did this for me. We kind of did it. It was fun. It was more of a, you know, she's doing it for a friend. I let her go shopping with my money. But, you know, it is not lost on me the amount of time that it must have taken her to fold every one of those T-shirts, to put it in the box, to take, you know, to do all that. Like, that is all time that Katy just donated. I didn't pay her to do that. So when you buy these boxes from yesterday's people, I forget the name of the store.
Yesterday's Fits.
Yesterday's Fits. Then just, you know, keep that in mind too, because it reminds me of when my mom owned a quilt shop, and she would cut what they call fat quarters. So you take a half a yard of fabric and you cut it in half down the fold. And people wanted to pay the same as if it was a quarter yard of fabric, but there's a lot of time involved in preparing that to give you that smaller piece of fabric. So you have to pay up for it.
Yep.
And so
they might have paid somebody who brought it into their shop. They might have paid $5 for this T-shirt, but they took that T-shirt, and a lot of times it's stuff, they took a picture of it, they put it up on their Instagram, they tagged it, they put it out on their floor, they moved it around 5 or 6 times, and then they finally had to go through and pull it. Like, a lot of, when you think about it, time goes into it. And so they might charge $10 for it. And it's really just to kind of recoup some of that cost that went out in the first place, you know, as opposed to really making a ton of money off of it.
Yeah, exactly. So I appreciate that. I noticed and appreciate that they were all folded very nice and professionally.
And it wasn't
and they're not anymore.
That's how I am with my clothing stuff.
That's the only time you're ever going to get something neat.
They're now they're just in a pile in a bag next to my chair.
Like, all of my clothes, my bins, because, you know, I have all the hanging racks for my jackets, but everything that I have in my bins is all like all my T-shirts. I have a very special way that I do my T-shirts, because they're in those big bins from Costco, and I have a folded in a stack. You can fit 2 stacks of T-shirts folded in half, and so it makes it so when I go through, I can just like go through.
Need to Marie Kondo
it. Are all laid out. Vicky's, if you go into her T-shirt bin, it's like, it's just, yeah, exactly. And
it's like a because they started off nice and neat, and then you dig through to get stuff, and they're all, and I don't care enough to refold and put them.
But it's so funny when it comes to that stuff, because really, honestly, I am the messy one in this relationship. But for some reason, when it comes to certain things, I'm really super anal about it.
Her inventory, she's super neat and anal about.
Yeah,
her inventory and her photos.
My hats, I have like one of those long boxes I got from Walmart. It's a long plastic
for wrapping paper
that folds up.
It's like the stuff that you'd put like wrapping paper in.
But it's perfect for hats because you can line it up in a row. Her hats are like stuffed into a couple of bits.
Look what I got.
What do you got? What do you got? Hey, hats.
Oh, Cleveland Indians.
Very nice. Very nice.
I'm waiting. So I have no idea if they're going to be worth anything, but they had to change the logo. So when I'm out and I'm shopping, I'm buying those, and I'm hoping that they'll turn into something when the team, and I won't have to wait 30 years, but when the
So they had to change the logo. And so next we've got there's still the Florida Seminoles. There's still quite a few handful of pro teams that have what is considered a not politically correct logo or mascot. I think they're eventually all going to end up changing them.
Yeah.
Which is
I graduated in 1982 Gardena Mohicans. We're still the Mohicans. We're not the last
guys. Down below, like I said, if you want to get that ring light, click on the link to our Amazon store and go check out the promotion that's going on there. Also, if you want to sign up for List Perfectly, because you see that you want to do some cross posting and diversify, go to some other platforms. The link to that is also down below. And if you want to follow Yesterday's Fits, I have the link to their website. Their own website. I have the link to
if
their
you
Instagram.
Like that type of clothing, they have great stuff. If you want to buy it for yourself, they have great stuff. Their prices are good for yourself. If you're buying from them from resale, it's not going to be from Instagram.
No, but
their website.
but it's a great way to learn vintage is to follow accounts like that. If you don't know a lot about vintage streetwear, about what's popular, if you follow an account like theirs and you see the response they get to certain things, you'll notice like, oh, this one only got, they got 30,000 followers. You'll notice one thing got 45 likes and another thing got 359 likes. What's the difference? Why is one's, so it's a really good way to see what's hot and what's
popular. For sure.
Anyway, so that all those links are down below, and their YouTube channel they just started recently, so check it out.
They're good kids.
They're good kids.
They're good kids with with very strong work ethic and good business sense. And I'm really excited to see a couple of kids in their 20s, and I don't even think Austin's 21 yet. Like being successful and creating a business and creating a platform where they're doing really well, and it's exciting to see. I have a 27-year-old daughter, and God, I love her dearly, but she could not do this. So it's not, there's a lot of people at that age. There's people at our age, people my age that couldn't manage to do that. I don't own a store. I wouldn't want to, but I don't own a store. So I'm impressed.
Oh no, I was a mess in my 20s. So yeah, I think they're 2 years apart. So they're like 21 and 23. It's ridiculous.
Okay, so I need to know who She Sells Resell is, because she says so many Mohicans and Gardena. So she's from the hood.
Yeah.
So it's Deb or Mel. I think they live in California now, and one of them's from Indiana.
I don't know.
Come on,
we're terrible at remembering.
Nobody's from Gardena.
Anyway, guys, we will keep you updated. We'll let you know when we know more information. I'll be seeing Jesse from yesterday's fits on Tuesday.
See, Barry knows what's up. Yes, Barry knows what's up. For the love of God, let the fat chick eat already.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us for this extra little bonus unboxing show. We appreciate it. And
thanks for shopping for me.
Yeah, we'll see you on Tuesday. We'll see you on Sunday for Sunday Live Haul. Vikki was able to get a lot of hard goods this week, and we're going out for some more tomorrow. So there's some really, really good hard goods that she's going to be showing on Sunday's show. And I will show you, I think that the stuff I got yesterday's fits on Tuesday is the best I've gotten so far from them. Even better than anything else I've shown you. Some crazy, crazy stuff that I found in those laundry bags. And I think I'm really excited to show you guys, but definitely lots of hard goods from this one. So it will not be all clothes. So it should be a good show.
It won't be, I promise.
Yeah, and we've had some decent sales this week, so we won't be crying this time or bitching and whining about our sales.
It's about time. Jeez.
Seriously.
You guys have 1 week where you don't have $8,000 in sales and you start whining.
There you go.
1 week.
Teresa, you were a hit. Sandy says we want to chit chat with T Money some more, so maybe we'll go eat and we'll just leave you on here. All right, guys. Thank you so much. We will see you later. And thank you, Teresa. Bye.
Peace out.
Bye.